I want her to
Oh,
go
now
to
she want-
college.
they-
That's
you
one
went- she
thing
went
that I
positive,
want
she
her
was
to
out
do.
here hoeing around.
Well, you
You
can
went
say whatever
positive
you
then.
want to say at the end of the day. How you know what she was doing when you
All right, let's get some order. Let's get some order.
Who pay your bills?
Every time a bill due, he would leave and go to Chicago.
And I'm a witness to this. I'm a witness to
Like
this.
I'll be like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do?
Your Honor.
He like
Every
them are
time
your
you got
bills.
paid.
Your Honor.
Ms. Thayer walks into paternity court, saying she's trying to save what's left of her marriage. But Mr. Thayer is basically like, cool, because I'm ready to divorce you today. And the stakes are brutal. He wants DNA proof he's the father of both little Cadence and 3-year-old Matthew Jr., or he's out. Talk about pressure.
Miss Thayer, you are here today in hopes of saving what is left of your marriage. In doing so, you've summoned your husband, Mr. Thayer, to paternity court to prove that not only did he father your 19-month-old daughter, Cadence, but also your 3-year-old son, Matthew Jr. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Then, Ms. Thayer hits us with the wildest combo. We don't even have sex anymore, while also saying, these are your kids. I mean, married and not intimate. Arguing so much the kid is repeating it. This house sounds like non-stop relationship homework.
Argue so much that my son is starting to get mad and yell and repeat some of the stuff that we say. And I want to prove to him that these are his kids. I've done nothing wrong to him, for him not to trust me, and for him to say that these aren't his kids. And I have 5 kids total, and he treats the 3 oldest kids better than he treats his own kids. And
Mr. Thayer says they started as friends with benefits, and honestly, that explains a lot. Judge Lake tries to untangle the open thing, and Ms. Thayer basically says she agreed to it because she didn't trust men anyway. Like, I'm not expecting loyalty, I'm expecting survival. Drama overload.
Wanted the same thing. I didn't want a relationship at that time.
Miss Thayer, what's this open thing? You do what you do, I do what we do, we in a relationship. What is that about?
I've been in some really bad relationships to where I just didn't trust men. I even went through a phase where I started dating girls for a little while.
So
I got
what you're
used to that.
saying is this whole open thing that you agreed to.
Now we're in conception math territory, and you already know that's where relationships go to die. Ms. Thayer swears Matthew was conceived around September 10th after a hotel party, but Judge Lake does the calculation, and Matthew was born May 18th, early. So Mr. Thayer's face is basically screaming, so who was it?
She was pregnant before we even got together, because Matthew was born 3 weeks early, and she told me about 3 weeks in that she was pregnant. So that's where that doubt comes in for him.
So you felt like you met, you all were sleeping together, not using protection, but then when she came up pregnant, you thought it was a little too soon.
Yes.
Mr. Thayer admits the doubt really grew because of what she says during arguments, like threatening to sleep with somebody else. And he works 11-hour days, so in his mind, he's like, that's a whole side relationship shift before I even get home. You can feel how deep the trust issues are.
Between June 2nd and June 9th, when was Matthew born?
May 18th.
Oh, so there's your doubt.
Yes, ma'am.
And look, babies do come early, but you claim she was with somebody else approximately 3 weeks before.
Yeah.
Then comes the second bomb, Cadence. Mr. Thayer claims around the time Cadence was conceived, they weren't really having sex. So he's like, how we got a baby if we don't got a bedroom? That is the kind of sentence that ends marriages on contact.
Down to sleep and go mess with somebody, clean up, and then I come home and give her a kiss like I normally do when I come home.
So because of these trust issues, you've asked the court to administer a lie detector.
Yes.
We did in fact do that, and I will have those results for you in just a bit.
Ms. Thayer is furious because she says she uprooted her life for him, and she's not out here entertaining anybody else. Meanwhile, Mr. Thayer is basically like, I'm not there all day, and the Mexico trip argument starts, we were intimate. It was almost impossible. Cue the tension you could cut with a knife.
But I don't know that, Your
move,
Honor.
that doesn't-
I'm not so certain that she's only with me, because
But-
I'm not there all day, every day with her.
We lived with
But
his
what he
family.
was saying is during that trip, claims you weren't intimate.
We were at least 4 times. We were.
In the house that we were staying in, it was my aunt's house in Mexico. So
Now they start swapping phone evidence like it's a championship sport. Mr. Thayer says he saw texts that made him think she was talking to another man. Mrs. Thayer claps back that he was texting another woman right after they had sex. Like, sir, you didn't even wait for the socks to go back on?
But not as much as I've caught him in his phone. We were having sex one night and he rolls over. We haven't even put our clothes on yet. And he's texting another woman. He loves her. So you've never seen me text I love you to anyone else.
this was after after I seen the messages that she was sending.
And the trauma comes out. Mr. Thayer admits he's been cheated on before, so now he struggles to trust anybody. Mrs. Thayer is basically begging him to stop punishing her for other women's mistakes. And honestly, you can see both of them are exhausted.
About a month into the pregnancy is when she saw those messages, and we did actually separate for about 3 months.
Have you ever been cheated on in the past?
Yes, I have.
Okay.
Because I lost trust in all women as far as relationships go.
But that's not my fault though. So that's like me saying I've been in a bunch of relationships.
But the things that you say when we get in arguments though.
Ms. Thayer insists she never cheated while they were together, only during the break, and she's like, I wouldn't name your son a junior if I wasn't sure. But Mr. Thayer is standing on business. If they're not mine, I'm leaving. I mean, just look at how serious this is. No wiggle room.
I asked him about it. He shrugged his shoulders like it didn't matter. And that's all that I got out of him. I didn't get a why. I asked him why he was doing it. Do you not want to be together? Like, what is the issue?
I did tell you
because
when I had
I've
that
been
argument.
a single mom for so long that I'm not trying to go into another relationship and then just be like, oh, well, I'm going to be a single mom again. That's not what I want.
And now, the lie detector enters the chat. Judge Lake reads the questions, and Ms. Thayer fails both. Deceptive on whether she'd been with anyone besides the 2 men disclosed, and deceptive on whether she'd had sex with anyone else since being with Matthew Sr. Mr. Thayer's reaction is basically, thank you, I knew it, and the heir leaves the room.
But first, I want to get to the lie detector. So we did, in fact, have her meet with a licensed polygraph expert. Let me have those lie detector results,
Yes,
please.
Judge.
Thank you. Now, Ms. Thayer, I have to ask, is there anything you'd like to tell us before I read these results?
Judge Lake presses her to free yourself and tell the truth, and Ms. Thayer kinda stumbles through it. She says it may have been more than 2 people during the break, but still swears she didn't cheat while together. And Mr. Thayer is staring like, so, what else don't I know?
You said no. The lie detector determined you were being deceptive. Mr. Thayer?
You just gave me my answers. So that just puts more doubt in my mind that these kids aren't mine. Because Matthew doesn't look anything like me, neither does Cadence.
They look just like you. Everything, the chin, the cheeks, the shape of the face, everything.
At this point, it gets emotional, fast. Ms. Thayer admits she's done things just to hurt him because she felt hurt, but she's begging him to focus on the kids now. Mr. Thayer says he's lost family behind this relationship and he needs the doubts put to rest. This is heartbreak with paperwork.
Because I could see that smirk on your face.
I've never cheated on him, but like I said during the break, it may have been more than 2 people, but I've never cheated on him. Like, I've never cheated on him while we were together.
She's lying
So,
about that. What else is she lying about?
Okay, so this is going way beyond.
Cue the drum roll because Judge Lake goes to the DNA results. First up is Cadence.
Chosen her over your family.
Yes, Your Honor. Behind these kids, because I thought I was going to have a family and I thought I was going to be able to build something with her. But the doubt in my mind, I need to put to rest.
All right, that's what we're here to do. And I'll say the stakes could not be any higher here. Ron, I'd like to go to the results, please.
And Judge Lake had to drop the bombshell. And now the big one, Matthew Jr. Judge Lake reads it, and Mr. Thayer is. Wait till you hear this one.
In the case of Thayer versus Thayer, when it comes to 3-year-old Matthew Thayer Jr., it has been determined by this court. Mr. Thayer, you are the father.
Told you.
Ms. Lee comes into paternity court determined to prove Mr. Green is the father of her 3-year-old son, Kingston. Mr. Green walks in already blaming an older sugar daddy, and Judge Lake makes it clear. This case is about truth, not excuses. Right away, you can tell this is going to be messy.
Ms. Lee, you have come to court today with one goal in mind, to prove to Mr. Green that he fathered your 3-year-old son, Kingston. You say Mr. Green has denied your son from the moment you got pregnant, but today his denial will end. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Lee says Mr. Green has denied Kingston since the moment she got pregnant. She sounds exhausted, like she's been fighting this battle alone for years. Mr. Green, meanwhile, barely reacts, which honestly makes it worse.
Just want him to step up.
And Kingston is 3 years old.
Kingston 3, he just turned 3 June 3rd.
So this
And he
happened.
didn't do nothing for his birthday either.
I try to meet her
When?
halfway, but her attitude is just.
My attitude has nothing to do with
it's
you
messed
stepping up for your child.
It's messed up. And
I
I try
have-
to reach out to her several times. She don't want to meet me in the middle.
Things heat up when Mr. Green admits he had a girlfriend the whole time. Mrs. Lee fires back that he was still living in her home, and Judge Lake pauses like she's mentally rewinding that math. Yeah, that story isn't adding up.
His phone. So, yeah, I snuck, called the girl, woke him out his sleep and made him start talking and didn't let him know she was on the phone until the end of the conversation to let her know, yeah, your dude over here and I'm pregnant, you know.
Whoa.
What it is.
So, in your mind, you knew you weren't really in a relationship with him, but you thought he was trying to play both sides.
Right.
Mr. Green accuses Mrs. Lee of seeing other men, and she admits she slept with someone else one time, with protection. Then Facebook posts get introduced, and once Judge Lake starts reading them out loud, the courtroom energy completely shifts.
Ms. Lee that say, is it wrong to have choices on men and blank all on the first day just in case the D ain't good? Just asking.
Oh, that's a question. That was recently. And that's not when King was born, 2015 now.
Okay, and
That
you
wasn't
submitted
before he
another.
got conceived either.
Ms. Lee explains she's practically had to force Mr. Green to be present in Kingston's life. When she admits she even stayed in a hotel with him just so he'd spend time with their child, the desperation is hard to ignore.
So you're at the point that you've even had to sleep with him?
Right. Do you
To
remember?
get him to come around?
It's not true, Your Honor.
You got a smirk on your face, Mr. Green.
Because he knows.
No, because I
He's
went over there. I
addicted.
went over there, but we didn't do nothing.
We did something.
Your Honor, she just wanted me to come. She said she wanted me to come over and watch.
She says she told him she was pregnant immediately, but he didn't believe her until the clinic confirmed it. Even then, she says, the denial never stopped. Mr. Green quickly pivots back to blaming the older man in her life.
When he found out, he denied right then and there.
She also had some old dude she was talking to
My
paid for the
dad
baby
was in
shower.
my home.
He buys her
That was
clothes
my
and stuff.
father.
Like, who does that for nothing?
He knew.
Like, he
that was
does
my father.
it.
Now, when he's
That was
talking
your
about
father?
an incident when I came out, I ain't gonna lie, I had came out of my sugar daddy's car one day.
And here it is, the sugar daddy revelation. Ms. Lee admits she's had a sugar daddy for 10 years who helped financially, including the baby shower. She insists there was never sex, but the courtroom looks very unconvinced.
So you didn't want to use a condom?
He didn't either. We did it the first day without. Wham, bam, thank you, ma'am, and I got pregnant because we didn't do it once. We were doing it for the whole month. So it wasn't like this is the one. You the only person I slept with. He took me to work and brought me back home. So what's this
So,
excuse?
Mr. Green,
To me, all these lies going on, I don't believe nothing she say.
Mr. Green argues that from day one, he questioned paternity. He admits they were intimate, but claims the timeline never sat right with him. Judge Lake listens closely, clearly tracking every contradiction.
when you told him you were pregnant, his response was what?
It ain't mine. It
And
ain't
that was your
mine.
first response.
You didn't say it wasn't yours?
I said, I don't know, it ain't mine.
You don't
I don't
know.
it's not
Okay.
mine.
So,
Where were you?
okay, I don't know, it's not mine, but you admittedly were sleeping with her unprotected.
Yes, I was, Your Honor.
Now they argue about DNA testing at the hospital. Mr. Green says he tried. Mrs. Lee says the baby was only a day old. And Judge Lake looks irritated that 3 years later, this is still unresolved. Ms. Lee says she never refused the test. She just didn't want to shoulder everything alone. Judge Lake cuts through the noise, reminding them this isn't about pride or power, it's about Kingston.
Sounds like to me, I mean, you all doing a whole bunch of nothing. Like, it doesn't
Not-
take this long to get a DNA test.
was on
What
her.
he
She
wanted me to do was
procrastinated.
pay for it. I felt like we both had them.
I
You
told
pay
her I'd
half,
pay
I
half.
pay half. But they ain't got
But it
nothing
just
to do
feels
with it.
like, I mean, both of you all going back and forth,
We
back
are.
and forth. It's like a power play after power play. I mean, Kingston wants some papa play.
Yeah.
He want a daddy.
Mr. Green talks about comparing pictures and doubting resemblance. Judge Lake shuts that logic down immediately. Babies aren't proof, DNA is, and you can feel the moment getting closer.
She felt like she was 100%.
Bingo.
You know,
Bingo.
she was
Don't that look like the
100%
same
sure.
baby? Look like the same baby. That's him in the blue.
But once
So-
she seen the
and
picture,
my
that's
son
when she
right there.
felt more confident.
That's him.
You can't
That's
just go off the
him.
picture, though.
So, Ms. Lee, at the end of the day, we know that biology controls it all, that really it's about who you slept with, not who he looks like.
Right.
Ms. Lee breaks down, explaining she'll do anything just to make sure her son has a father. She admits this fight is bigger than court. It's about not repeating the abandonment she grew up with.
When he come. Because, I mean, you ain't going to do it, so I bring it so I know my
Of course
child
I
will
would.
eat.
He always gonna be right.
So you're saying, Ms. Lee, you're comfortable too. This isn't just about, and I still want to be with him. This
don't
is,
want-
I want my child to have his father in his life. I don't care if I have to cook the food, bring the clothes, bring him over, get him over there
Yes,
to you.
Your Honor.
She says Mr. Green once helped raise her older child, which makes his absence now hurt even more. When he calls it babysitting, she snaps back. You don't babysit your own child.
He live up the the street. We live in the same almost area. He
Your Honor,
knows he's a
Your Honor,
deadbeat.
only time I feel like she really hits me up, and it's like when, oh, what you doing? Why you ain't seen your son like this, and that? And then she'll be like, oh, I need a babysitter. What you doing? That's the only time I feel like.
I do. I have to go to work.
Judge Lake acknowledges Ms. Lee's painful past in foster care, and suddenly the courtroom feels heavy. This isn't just drama anymore. It's generational trauma playing out in real time.
Are so persistent about this. I think it's your desire to break a generational curse. And I see that. And I think every time he doesn't show up for Kingston, it reminds you of the times when you wondered why nobody showed up for you.
At all.
Judge Lake announces she has the DNA results. The room goes completely still. Faces tighten, and nobody looks comfortable. This is the moment that changes everything.
In the case of Lee versus Green, when it comes to 3-year-old Kingston Lee, it has been determined by this court. Mr. Green, you are the father.
Told you! I told you!
Judge Lake prepares to read the results. Ms. Lee looks terrified. Mr. Green looks frozen, and the tension is unreal. Whatever comes next, there's no running from it.
I wasn't trying to run or hide from type of responsibility. I just wanted a little bit more clarification. You know what I mean? And the way she was living, I was uncertain. That's I can't make up for a lot of time, but I can start now being more in his life.
It's important when we talk about moving forward that we take accountability.
Mr. Manser walks into paternity court saying, I did 5 years in prison over child support, and nobody ever proved that kid was mine. Meanwhile, Ms. Sear is like, oh, I've got proof all right. And you can already tell this is about to get real ugly, real fast.
Mr. Manser, you claim you spent 5 years in prison for failing to pay child support for the defendant, Ms. Sear's son, Dylan.
That's right.
And it was never proven that you are his biological father.
Manser calls it a one-night stand, and Ms. Sear basically jumps out her seat like, excuse me? I mean, just look at the energy. That is not one-night stand energy. That's I remember everything energy.
She was a friend of my aunt. She was best friends with my aunt. We all lived in the same little community. She lived across the street. I knew of her. I knew her. I've spoken to her. But as far as intimacy, we was together one time. And I hate to be crude, but it was a one-night stand.
Then he admits he didn't show up to court back in the day, so he got named the father by default. And Judge Lake is basically saying, sir, default is not a magic word. You still should have showed up.
So how did you get arrested?
I came 3 years later after I still didn't pay child support, still unable to pay. I still had doubt. I've never, to this day, thank God for your show, or I'd never know for sure whether or not I was the natural father. Never.
Now they're arguing about the timeline like it's a math test nobody studied for. Ms. Sear swears he ducked responsibility for years, and Manser's like, I was broke and confused, which, sir, that's not a defense. That's a biography.
Where's the proof? I've yet to see proof that the child's mine. He said that they obtained my DNA through a sample that was already on file. That's what she's claimed this whole time.
For a daughter you didn't raise too.
So, that's right. I'm not here to win any Father of the Year awards, believe me.
You wouldn't get it.
Manser hits us with the big pain point. I went to prison with murderers because I missed a court date, and the courtroom goes quiet because, whew, whether you like him or not, that's heavy.
In this country, you got to show up for court.
Well,
if you got to walk there,
you're right.
You need to be there.
Okay.
And then you pled
so
guilty.
For every American boy out there that goes to Florida on spring break and hooks up with a girl, and the girl goes to Texas.
Ms. Sear suddenly pulls out DNA results, like it's a surprise party nobody asked for. Manser immediately goes, I don't trust it, because he thinks she had access and basically cooked up paperwork like a Netflix villain.
You convinced he is the father?
Yes, ma'am.
Why?
Because I have had a DNA test done, and I have the results right here. Would you like a copy of it?
Well, she's worked for lab pretty much for the last 20 years. Those was I'd question the validity of the results. I mean, she'd get those anyway.
Hold on 1 second.
Judge Lake starts reading through the proof, and you can feel Manser praying for a typo. The moment the judge notices key info is blank, his face is screaming, oh, I'm about to be right.
Before we continue to argue this, let me look at Ms. Sear's evidence that she included, because I want to understand the situation surrounding this previously collected sample.
Who's to say it was my sample?
And Judge Lake straight up points out the obvious. If his info is missing, that suggests he wasn't even there for that old test. Talk about messy. This is the kind of evidence that makes everybody in the room squint.
Through this evidence evidence,
was at
and
school
I
at the
get
time, by the
to
way.
the information that is also included in the collection of the samples, I do see that for alleged father, it's entirely blank.
That's right.
Meaning
Imagine that.
there is no
Then we hear about an old lab record claiming a crazy high probability, but the chain of custody is shaky. It's like someone brought receipts, but the ink is smudged and the store name is missing.
Here, I see the laboratory result of the testing with a probability of paternity of 99.67%.
You're the
Do you
second
know, man,
person.
that he said 99.67 means he still might not be the father when he heard that number?
Judge Lake says the court ordered new testing and the vibe changes instantly because now it's not about who talks loudest, it's about what's in that envelope, and you can feel everybody getting nervous.
New testing, and both of you submitted to the test.
And
Is that correct?
And it was very thorough. There was
And is
initially.
that correct, Ms. Sear?
Yes.
Next thing you know, Mansur's son Chris steps up and he's calm, supportive, basically the emotional opposite of this entire argument. And when he talks about Dylan like a brother, I'm not gonna lie, that's the first wholesome thing we've heard all day.
It's not 13 years.
I'm not winning no awards. I'm here to tell you that I didn't submit a DNA test.
At least on my part, he made up for it. He really has.
So let's hear from your son. Please step up to the podium, Mr. Mansur. Please step up. You are Mr. Mansur's son.
Yes.
Then Dylan comes out, and he's not here for theatrics. He's here for answers. He's like, I don't really know him, but me and Chris are cool, and honestly, that's a mature way to handle grown folks' chaos.
Hello, Dylan.
How are you?
Thank you for joining us. Now, Dylan, I want to know about your relationship with your father.
I feel I don't know him that well.
We don't. We don't know each other.
Go ahead, son.
Ms. Sear starts getting emotional, talking about disrespect and how she's been dealing with this for years. And right when you think it's about to become a full-on shouting match again, Judge Lake says the words everybody fears. I think it's time for the results.
What do you want from today, Dylan?
I haven't seen either one of them in over a year now.
Daughter on the way.
I have a daughter due in November. You're the grandpa. I'd like for you to be part of her life too.
I've advised you to get proof.
I've advised him to raise his child from day one.
Judge Lake explains the new test was done the right way. Forms, IDs, photos, swabs sealed on the spot. No, my cousin works at the lab. Funny business. And when she says the lab ran 2 tests because the case is so sensitive, cue the drum roll because somebody's whole story is about to collapse.
Because this is a very special case, and we've had previous DNA testing done in which our plaintiff questions the chain of custody of the specimen, the actual sample that was collected.
Right. No, there's no doubt the results of this.
Here it is, the envelope moment, and you can literally feel the oxygen leave the room. Judge Lake reads the results, and the second she says, Mr. Mansur, his face is already bracing for impact, and then boom.
As it pertains to 20-year-old Dylan Sear, Mr. Mansur, you are not
Oh, God.
his father.
Oh, man.
Ms. Reeves came to paternity court trying to prove Mr. Silva is the father of her 7-month-old son, Legend, but he's acting like it's physically impossible. And the wild part? He's loud, confident, and wrong in ways only a man with a microphone can be. Buckle up, because this case turns into a full-on relationship court meltdown real quick.
Ms. Reeves, you are here today to prove that the defendant, Mr. Silva, is the biological father of your 7-month-old son, Legend. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Silva, you were involved in a paternity case on Love and Hip Hop Atlanta in support of your sister, who took a DNA test to prove paternity.
Ms. Reeves says the doubt is poisoning everything. Imagine trying to co-parent while somebody keeps hitting you with, "Are you sure that's my baby?" every 5 minutes. Like, sir, it's a baby, not a DoorDash order. She's basically begging for DNA results just so they can stop arguing and move forward.
Ms. Reeves, explain to the court how this paternity doubt has affected your relationship.
Well, it's affected everything in my life. We've been on and off for about 3 years. Right now, every single time I turn around, it's always, "Oh, are you sure that he's my baby?"
And then Mr. Silva explains his logic, and I swear the courtroom temperature drops. He really says he grew up loving women and loving sex. Like that's a credential. I mean, just look at Judge Lake's face. She's already regretting asking.
Mr. Silva, why do you have doubt?
I just don't trust trust her, Your Honor. I feel like she's tricking me into believing that I'm Legend's father. I grew up loving women, loving sex.
You grew up loving sex?
To me, I always felt like it was okay for men to go out, have sex, and, you know, cheat, come home to their family.
Ms. Reeves claps back, saying he's projecting because he's the cheater. And Judge Lake basically translates, so you out here acting up, and now you think she must be too? Talk about messy.
And so you believe he's projecting his unfaithfulness onto you?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you doing that, Mr. Silva? Do you have any reason to believe Ms. Reeves has not been faithful? You basically said in so many words that you believe it's okay for men to go outside of the relationship to cheat, but not okay for women to do the same.
Then Silva doubles down with the most ridiculous speech of the day. Men can cheat, women can't. He says, God created men to conquer. And Judge Lake is like, conquer what? The group chat? Drama overload.
I created men to conquer, and what else?
Conquer, and women
to rule.
Cannot overpower men.
You're ridiculous.
This gonna be a long
You see
hearing.
what I deal with every day, right?
So in the conquering and the ruling of man, inclusive in that is the right to cheat.
Judge Lake starts cooking him politely, like, from one queen to a king. Why would she just sit home and take that? And you can feel him glitching because someone challenged his nonsense out loud. You could cut this tension with a knife.
I'm trying to understand. I mean, just entertain me for a minute. From one queen to a king. Why? Why would you expect her to sit at home and allow you to cheat on her?
It's just really the fact that she came home, she came telling me that I'm the father of Legend.
Now we get to the real reason he's spiraling. They broke up because she was texting her ex and she changed her password. And every man on earth just sat up like, oh, that's why he's paranoid. Things got rocky quickly.
Your Honor, we were broken up for 4 weeks, Your Honor. I called her texting her ex.
And is that why you broke up?
Yes, Your Honor.
When you
I confronted her
with
about texting her ex. You know, this ain't, you know, I caught them texting multiple times. And she claims they're just friends, you know, and I had it. One day I just decided to try to go on her phone and she changed her password on me.
But Ms. Reeves fires back. Funny you worried about my phone when women keep texting me saying you're their boyfriend too. That our boyfriend line is insane. That's not a relationship. That's a subscription service. Judge Lake basically says, both of y'all are a mess, but today we're here for paternity.
And over and over and over again. What are you talking about? You're delusional. You don't even know anything.
But look. And I've had some fun with Mr. Silva and his analogies, but I do want to be honest in this moment.
Mr. Silva claims they were broken up for weeks, and he was watching her Snapchat, turning up like it was detective work. Sir, you stalking her snaps like it's the FBI, but you still don't know how pregnancy timelines work. Meanwhile, Judge Lake reminds him, the conception window could have been way earlier anyway.
That's what's hard, because a lot of women will say, well, he was out doing this, that, and the third. I said, I know, but I need to know what this, that, and the third you were doing. Because that's really the bottom line. So if you're texting your ex, changing your passcode, and then you all are broken up, and you then say to him, I'm pregnant.
Then Silva admits he wasn't really there during the pregnancy because he didn't believe he was the dad. But he did show up at the birth, and he says he felt pressured to sign the birth certificate because her family was around, which is a wild way of saying, I folded in 4K. I mean, just look at how Ms. Reeves reacts. She's been holding that hurt in her chest.
You know, drinking, smoking. So how do you expect me to believe that you've been gone for 3-4 weeks, then come back to me telling me you're pregnant?
And how pregnant did she say she was when she told you?
I mean, I'm not
I was
exactly.
like 3 months pregnant when I found out.
So in your mind, regardless of what you were doing for that month that you all were broken up.
Ms. Reeves brings proof. Another woman messaged her about Silva, basically telling people she didn't know who her baby's dad was. And the camera catches Silva smirking. Oh yeah, he's lying. And he knows he's lying. Judge Lake calls it out like, that smirk told me everything I needed to know.
What'd he say?
I show him a picture of him and the girl together. And then he's like, oh, well, you know, I do know her, but that was a long time ago. Like, I haven't seen her for years.
Ms. Reeves gets emotional talking about not wanting Legend to grow up feeling unwanted and heartbreaking stuff. And Silva, instead of comforting her, starts talking about how the baby looks like her, and even says her ex looks like him. Sir, that's not a defense, that's a plot twist. Cue the drum roll because now it's getting real.
See that this still hurts you, Miss Reeves.
Yes, ma'am.
What are you feeling?
I just feel a little hurt, you know what I mean? Cause like we have a beautiful baby together and I don't want him to grow up feeling like, oh, my daddy didn't even think that I was his.
Right before the results, Silva drops the ultimatum. If Legend isn't his, Ms. Reeves has to kick rocks. And Ms. Reeves is basically like, so you've been around this baby and you're just gonna vanish if paper says so? The whole room feels tight. Everybody knows this moment is about to decide more than DNA.
In order for us to move forward with our relationship and every single thing else in our life, we need to get past this so we don't have any extra arguments in the future.
I understand. And how about you, Mr. Silva? What are your hopes today?
I want this child to be mine.
Judge Lake gives them one last chance to be honest before she opens the envelope, and you can hear the silence screaming. Ms. Reeves is trying to hold it together. Silva's acting tough, but his eyes are giving nervous. And then Judge Lake says the words we've all been waiting for.
Yeah, I don't have any doubts. I'm just a little bit upset that if he feels like he's not his, then he doesn't want to be with me anymore. I feel like with or without Legend, our relationship is, we can make it be good the way that it was before. You know what I mean?
Here it is, the DNA results, and immediately the whole court are holding on top their pearls for this big reveal.
When it comes to 7-month-old Legend Silva, it has been determined by this court. Mr. Silva, you are the father.